So yeah, we're talking Nintendo Quest and the little logo there. And this is just kind of a check-in for tomorrow night's big event. It's going to be a two-parter event, of course. It's really exciting. As I was saying, muted apparently. I haven't watched Nintendo Quest since the Portland Retro Gaming Expo screening in October of 2015. And so for 5 years to go back and revisit the film that kind of started it all is it's going to be an interesting thing because so much has happened since even just that screening. But going back even further, we shot this film in 2013. So it's been over 7 years since the majority of the film was shot, and it didn't take a long time to edit. The biggest part that took to get kind of figured out and sorted was the legal and the distribution side. We were up a number of different alleys to get it out there. And 2015, October 1st, it premiered exclusively on Vimeo for 30 days, I think, and then it went wider to Amazon and a few other spots. It's just super surreal that we're on the 5th anniversary of this film, and so much has happened since. We've met so many people. So many people are still just discovering the film. It's opened up a lot of doors for me. It allowed me to go on and basically have a legitimacy to do other documentary projects right away, which is hard to believe that one film kind of allowed it all to happen, which was cool. I'm very grateful for that. I got to do Power of Grayskull as a result. I got to do the Kitty Origins Evolutions documentary, and to take a passion like video gaming and turn it into a documentary, of course, it was like, what other documentaries can I do in the world of video gaming? So it also led to video game box art, which I got to do with my good friends, Doug and Nicole. So that was super exciting as well. So if you're checking this out, I hope you're going to come back for part 1, which is tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. EST. It's going to be on my personal profile page. It's going to be on my Facebook writer-director page, and of course on my YouTube channel as well. And then part 2 is Tuesday night. You can kind of finish off we're going to split it half and half. And we're doing it across 2 nights because a lot of people said they weren't available one night or the other. Plus, you just get to hang out more during the holidays, right? Which is always good. Hang out with your friends during the holidays. That's always a good thing to do. And I feel like now is a good time more than ever. It's the 5th anniversary of the film. It's cool. The rights have reverted back to us as the filmmakers. Which felt like, it'll be forever before we ever get the rights back. It could do something like this. We're partnering with Jinx Esports TV because they still have the Canadian rights for a few more years, and they're totally cool with us doing this live kind of picture-in-picture commentary thing. But we never thought we'd get the rights back. It felt like it just took forever, or they'd get extended or expanded upon. So it's really cool we get to have it back in-house. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to answer a couple questions while I'm here right now. If you've got anything, guys. I see there's, a handful of you watching. Just let me know. I have no idea what the commentary is going to be like, if I'm going to even remember interesting facts that happen scene by scene. I'm sure we'll get the question about pricing. I'm sure we're going to get the question about, what happened there? What else happened at the location? So we're going to try to cover that kind of stuff. Oh, thanks, Darren. I'm glad you'll be watching in Lincoln. Hey, we're happy to invite you in too. If you want to join us for a bit, or if you just want to sit on the outside and watch, that's totally cool as well. Oh, there's Jay in the chat. Jay, I sent you an invite if you want to join. Just come on in and talk about hunting. You got some bread, you got some meat. I don't know, go hunt. You going to join, or are you just going to sit there and watch? Come on, Jay, get in here. Tease everybody a little bit. And Scott will be there. Good to have Scott a part of things as well. Scott's a new friend who connected with us because of Action Figure Adventure, which of course is the other big reason why I thought the timing of this would be really good, is because Action Figure Adventure, which is kind of like the spiritual successor to Nintendo Quest, it has its worldwide premiere December 2nd, 7:30 p.m. in Canada. So it's another adventure. It's another quest with things that Jay and I love. Super cool to be able to kind of get the band back together again, but it's also so different, not just because it's video games versus action figures, because as I was saying to Darren, who's collecting printed published books now, collecting is kind of collecting no matter what it is. There's the cool rare pieces of everything that's out there. There's the staples that you got to have. Condition is always everything when it's a physical, tangible object. Jay, nice to see you're excited for it. You can't wait. Collecting is collecting, You never know who you're going to meet. There's always people that you run into along the way that are going to help you. I think there's always people that are going to run in that might try to steer you down a different path. And we certainly came across that in Nintendo Quest. I think the tail of the tape when it comes to Nintendo Quest is really you can't make this stuff up. Truth is stranger than fiction. And that for me is kind of my love with documentaries. I've done some scripted projects before, some narratives. I've had different projects optioned and won some screenplay writing contests and whatnot. And it's a science to write a screenplay, but to be able to capture stuff you never expected to happen on camera is just a blast. And to do it with your best friend. And of course, my team has been working with me since Nintendo Quest, and even before in some instances. It's cool to make these new memories with them as well. And just have a kind of a record of that, a time capsule. And of course, the finished film or the series, you only get to see a snapshot, and I'm the keeper of the footage. So you guys might not ever get to see some of this stuff, but it's still cool for us to go back and look at it. And Scott, it's cool. You're just getting into collecting video games. Lots of time to get into that. It's very cool. I don't know what you're collecting. I don't know if you're going NES. I don't know if you're going more current. It's fun, man. It's fun. And video games don't take up near as much space as action figures can, especially when people that collect figures want it, mint in the package or in the box. There is a lot of space saving that you can do with games, since even when it's in the box, it doesn't take up a lot of space. JD Lowe, there he is. There's the man himself, the villain, the Lex Luthor-like persona who meets us head on at Warp Zone. If you can be there, that's great. It's 2 nights, my friend. It's 2 nights. Adding to the stream now, there he is, Mr. Jay Bartlett coming on board. So Jay, yeah, with lots of footage comes lots of deleted scenes, and Nintendo Quest had no shortage of deleted scenes. I think we had a 3-disc Blu-ray that went out. There was a bunch of extra interviews, I think something like 12 or 15 deleted scenes that were either trimmed down or cut back. That were part of Nintendo Quest. And I know Jay and I have just started a Patreon more for our toy endeavor. It's called the Jay and Rob Toy Show. And I know we're going to make a bunch of archival footage available for that. So Action Figure Adventure and Nintendo Quest are going to have proper releases with deleted scenes, but we're going to try to show some unedited stuff so you can see what it's like to be a fly on the wall. And I think for people that are fans of Nintendo Quest, to watch Jay kind of hunt in raw loose in some of these scenes, especially for Nintendo Quest, since it was created for a 90-minute format, that might be eye-opening to see what it was like to go there. You're still not going to probably have all the questions that you want answered seeing that stuff. Bill Ma is singling out JD as the villain. Rightfully so, my friend, rightfully so. But hey, is there really a more lovable villain than JD Lowe? Honestly, we got so lucky when it came to JD. Not only was his intentions completely nefarious in the best possible way for the documentary, he's a really good guy too. Super cool. Wasn't like really intimidated, or at least trusted us enough to be on camera to have things play out. And we wanted to be true to who he was and what he was trying to do, and be fair and not misrepresent him. So all through the editing process, JD, I would reach out to him and say, hey man, this is kind of what we're thinking. Is that cool with you? I don't want you to rub you the wrong way and have you come out a different way. And he was totally down for it and never had any issues whatsoever.
Hey, I figured it out. I had Facebook on in the background, so it was like triple echoing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Idiot.
So Jay Crawford says, I'm new to you guys, but became a fan. I've yet to see any Nintendo Quest. Well, Jay, if you're in Canada, and I believe that you are from what I understand, it's available on Super Channel through Jinx Esports TV. You can see the Jinx logo in the top corner of the stream here. They are a partner with us for our live stream event tomorrow and Tuesday night. Check it out. You can get, I think, a free 7-day, maybe a 30-day trial of Jinx Esports TV, which would set you up nicely for the Action Figure Adventure premiere on December 2nd. So, Jay, as I was introducing this kind of teaser live stream for tomorrow night's big event, part 1 of 2, I just kind of wanted to throw out what Nintendo Quest meant. I can't believe it's been 5 years. I was trying to explain some of the rationale as to why we're doing it now. Why we hadn't done it before, mainly a rights issue. Now we have the rights back. It's 5 years since it came out publicly, 7 since we shot, and it's on the eve of Action Figure Adventure. What does it mean to you that we get to kind of for the first time, talk through Nintendo Quest as a live stream commentary.
Am I allowed? Are we finally allowed to talk about what happens at the end? Because I still feel it's funny. I still feel like I can't
Yeah.
talk about it, right? So it'll be
Well,
cool to
just
watch it
as
with
a tease,
everybody.
yeah, just as a
Yeah.
tease until tomorrow, just as a tease until then. So yeah.
No, yeah, I don't mean right now, but I mean like tomorrow we're actually gonna get to, hey, this is happening, and
Well,
we can talk
if you
about it.
suddenly get booted from the stream, you went too far. You still got to keep it a secret. 5
For
years
sure.
later. I
No,
think what is the new rule? I mean, a lot of people were posting on Mandalorian like the day of for spoilers. I like to think it's at least a week on spoilers. So I think 5 years is
yeah.
probably a good kind of safe thing.
Is that okay for you now? Okay. Yeah, it means the world to me. Like you, it opened up a lot of doors, and I met a lot of really great people, and continue to. It allowed us to do action figure adventure, and continue to do that as well, and all the great stuff you've done with Kitty and He-Man and everything else. Yeah, it's been life changing, definitely.
So it looks like Scott has confirmed you get 30 days free on Prime of Jinx Esports TV. So anybody that has not checked out Nintendo Quest in Canada, you can get 30 days of Jinx Esports TV via Prime, their channels. For everybody else in America and around the world, Nintendo Quest should be available on Amazon Prime as part of your subscription. Check it out. I believe it's also going to be on Tubi as they just picked it up. And it's a few other spots too. I think Journey has a channel, as an app, is also screening it and the Power Tour as well. Oh, we got a gentleman here, Go Carlo from YouTube. He's chiming in. I've watched Nintendo Quest so many times. I think I first found it on Crackle. Yep, Crackle was one of the early deals that we did, which was cool. It was when it was on Crackle, it was also on PlayStation, and I had a number of people reach out saying, "It's really weird seeing a Nintendo documentary on my PlayStation. What's up with that?" And I said, "I don't know. It's a movie. You watch movies on your things. It's what you do. So there you go."
I remember when it was on PS4. That was really cool, man, to see it on the store there.
It's honestly been in so many places. I believe it was released theatrically in Germany, or had like one or two promotional screenings. So we're kind of like the Hoff over there of the video game world, maybe. I don't know.
You are for sure. Yeah, you are.
I wish I could be the Hoff and Harmony. I would love to be that. It'd be so great. But it got released as a physical DVD over there with alternate cover and packaging, which I think is like so appropriate for a game based documentary on collecting, to have a variation out there in a different language.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. Ashley says she's going to take advantage of the 30 days free and watch it. I've heard so much about it, but yet to see it. Oh my goodness, you're in for a treat. Don't check out the stream tomorrow night then, as it might spoil it or at least interrupt it. So check it out now if you can, and get ready for the commentary streams again here on Facebook. You're either watching this on Facebook, my personal profile, my writer-director business page, or my YouTube channel. So you can get it on 3 places, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, come back and make fun of us, everyone who's in the chat right now. It'll be fun. It's like Mitch and Dazed and Confused. We'll see how many times I scratch my beard or grab my nose. I've counted too many times, but
it reminds me of being on the eve of that whole Power Tour experience, my friend, where we were excited to travel to the next town. And for those of you that don't know, we were lucky enough to take the film theatrically around North America. I think there was 15 stops that we showed Nintendo Quest theatrically. There's a bunch, over 10 for sure, and that's kind of what made up the bulk of the Power Tour episodes, which is kind of the spiritual, not even spiritual successor, but the sequel series of showing Nintendo Quest. And every time we'd go into a screening, Jay and myself and Glenn would stand back and to the sides and just kind of make fun of everything that happens in the film, because we had seen it so many times. We were so familiar with it.
There's a few parts where I'm like, oh no, not this part. This part's coming up kind of. I gotta go to the bathroom and walk out of the theater. But yeah, it's just it's natural, right? You're watching yourself and you want to make sure you don't do ums and ahs. I'm sure you edited most of that stuff out, but yeah, I grab my beard a lot. I still do that. I do this a lot.
Yeah. So Scott says, Jay, I used it, the 30-day free trial, to watch Nintendo Quest, so check that out. Draven 1985 asks if there's any talk of SNES Quest. I'm sure we will cover that tomorrow. And you never know. We like to say never say never, keep it open-ended. Anything is possible. I'm glad you love the NES documentary. That's kind of why we're doing this, because so many people seem to love it. Nathan saying he says he plays Nintendo Quest at the end of all the gaming classes he teaches, illegally by the sounds of it. So there's going to be a royalty payment that you owe me, sir. Thank you for doing illegal public exhibitions in the educational setting. Our lawyers will be in touch. Christopher Allen says, hey, fellas, what's up, Rob? Not much. What's going on? The next film should be Jay and Silent Rob. Impossible for me to be silent as you hear me drone on and on right now.
Thanks for checking out the PCC. You know, the pop culture cosmos. We'll be back in one moment.
Coming soon, Zero Cool Films presents Action Figure Adventure. Super collector Jay Bartlett hits the road once again in search of action figures' most iconic and noteworthy and rare figures, all in the name of creating the most ultimate action figure auction ever. He fronts the cash, the charity benefits in the end. What will he get, how will he get it, and how well will he do? Find out in 2020. Jay, what are your big takeaways 5 years after the kind of public screenings ended and it went out to the world of subscriptions? Have you seen it since?
I don't think so. I watched the Power Tour, which I love turning people on to that because there's still a lot of people out there who don't know that that's out there. And like Rob said, I think it's a 8 or 9 episode
9
series of us touring it, which I think it's really great because you get to see Rob and I have a little competition and we go into all these different game stores. I watched that recently. I don't think I've seen Nintendo Quest in a while. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm already predicting it's going to be cringeworthy, just, I mean, from a technical level, because I know where it was at and what I've done since then and what I've learned. But I think that's kind of the joy of Nintendo Quest, because it works without being a super polished film. And documentaries and kind of the style that I've done so far, these quests on missions in the moment kind of thing, allow for a little bit of technical roughness. So I'm sure Nintendo Quest will always still be the first kind of, you know, exploration into that style of filmmaking, and action figure adventure it seems night and day compared to it, which is cool. It's actually going to be really interesting for me to watch Nintendo Quest, given that I've spent the last year in hard edits on action figure adventure. So I'm really excited to go back and see, how did we cover stores in Nintendo Quest versus how we did it in action figure adventure? How did we do this? Am I making the same decisions or mistakes all over again without researching? So that'll be fun to go back and watch.
Yeah, I get a lot of people messaging me all the time saying they just discovered it and it's really great, it's really professional and all that kind of stuff. So that's
Nice.
That's a hat tip to you, buddy, on your amazing work again. That it's 5 years, and like you said, we shot in 2013, so 7 years, and it's still holding up, which is great. And again, like you said, and I wasn't on the stream at the time, we're gonna get the questions, I'm sure, about why we didn't put the prices and all the usual things. So we'll save that for tomorrow, but I really can't wait to answer everyone's questions.
Hey, Tommy from toy-lines.com. Tommy's been a huge supporter. He helped on Power of Grayskull and Action Figure Adventure at PowerCon, which was cool. So good to see you there, Tommy. Christopher Allen chimes in. NQ is my first documentary from you. Loved Power of Grayskull. Huge difference for sure. Power of Grayskull was a surreal experience for me because it was my first kind of collaboration with other filmmakers from our area too, but of course to tackle another subject that was near and dear to my heart. So to go from, you know, Nintendo Quest to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was just like, oh my God, this is like a dream come true. And somewhere in the mix there cover the biopic on Kitty, the heavy metal band from my area as well. So like it's video games, yep, action figures, yep, heavy metal music, yep. I think the only thing left on my roster is to do something with sports, and I got to shoot a Chicago White Sox commercial, which was pretty cool. So I've been super lucky that I've been able to do a lot of the things that I have a passion with. And I think when you watch action figure adventure, you'll see that it really comes from everything I learned on Power of Grayskull and that we delved into, and Nintendo Quest is a perfect kind of symbiosis, the symbiote of it all, if you will.
Worked on Power of Grayskull.
So go, Carl. Yeah. So I was one of the directors and writers of it with Randall Lobb and a producer, and our other team members were Isaac Elliott Fisher and Mark Hussey. It was really the four of us that put that together. Those guys have done an awesome Turtles documentary that I can't say enough about. Turtle Power. If you love He-Man and what we did with Power of Grayskull, but also have a soft spot for TMNT, go check out Turtle Power where you can, because you'll love it.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen Power of Grayskull until we started shooting Action Figure Adventure. So,
which is so funny because it's
like,
like it had been out for a long time. You're like, I'm good.
like super classy style. I watched it on the iPad in the car or in the production van on the way to whatever shoot we're going to.
The most cinematic experience ever. Hot tip: if you have a friend who's a filmmaker, try to watch his or her stuff when it comes out first. Number one, and number two, don't watch it on a phone or an iPad in a moving car stuck in traffic.
You put it
Watch it
on.
on TV.
You
It
put it
was
on.
yeah. I had to force
You
you
put it
in a
on.
car so you couldn't
You
escape,
put it on.
and this was the
And
only
I'm
way
like,
you would
okay,
watch
like,
it.
oh, you know what? We got like 6 hours to kill. Just put this on. Just watch it. I'm like, I'm all right.
Do,
And then
do
I
I have
watched it.
to?
And, yeah, I got the power.
I have the power. I have
I
it.
guess it's okay. It's pretty good.
It's all right. It's a pretty good movie there. It covers
Not
a lot
too
of
bad.
bases.
Not too bad there.
Yeah, not too bad there, Robbie. Dallas Stars, no, Nathan. I'm probably not going to do a sports documentary on the Dallas Stars unless you want to pay for the whole thing. You want to do that, buddy, pal? I'll focus on the '99 season. I don't really have too much else to add. This isn't supposed to be a full-blown thing by any measure. I just wanted to kind of reach out. Jay, I'm glad you're able to join us. Really prime everybody for tomorrow night's big event.
I'm excited. I'm going to wear a tuxedo. No. But
You're not gonna wear
we'll dress up nice. So no ironic shirts. I want to see a suit and
That's
tie.
all I have. You're going to have something like this, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. There's a lot of moments I really love in that film, and it's going to be cool to relive that with everybody else. Since I think we always kind of talked about maybe doing an actual screening in the theater, but since we can't do that right now, this is definitely the next best thing. So
yeah, we'll wrap this up. We'll answer Bill's question here. So it's safe to say that Jay hasn't seen box art. He's referring to video game box art, the stories behind the covers, which is a project I mentioned earlier. And I don't know if Jay has seen it or not. I may have shown him one episode when we released it to Kickstarter backers. It's about to get a much larger worldwide release through the Nacelle company, which are the folks that made the toys that made us. And they also released our Kitty live concert documentary. Jay, you saw some of this, didn't you?
some of it, but I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing. No, I'm waiting for season 2 Action Figure Adventure so we can hit the road and I can watch it on the iPad.
Well, I thank you for such kind measures to appreciate the work. Yeah, that's that. Okay, good to see you tomorrow, Christopher. That's awesome. And Nathan, we'll see you, of course, the nitty gritty. Think of those question guys for tomorrow night. There are no questions off limits. It doesn't mean you will get the answer that you want to hear.
I'll answer anything.
So yeah, I'll answer it. Jay and I might give different answers, and then you get to pick who's right. You guys can pull us. That's probably going to happen more than once because our memories are fading. That's a little bit of Swiss cheese between now and then. So 7 years since filming and 5 years since the actual film was finished. So yeah. Go Carlos says he's been enjoying the YouTube, Jay, and he saw the sideshow Baby Yoda, and you have seen Turtle Power. Cool. I'm glad you saw Turtle Power.
All right, thanks, dude. I really appreciate the support. I've only been at it since February this year, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'll keep making them if you keep watching them. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there. Jay, any last thoughts before tomorrow night? Any requests of people that might tune in?
Let's have a beard counter. I want someone to count how many times I do this or I do this. Is it a scratch or what is it? You're the keeper of the footage. Is it this? Because I do this a lot.
Yeah, I think it's anytime you touch your face and like contemplation and deep thought.
Yeah. So if someone wants to keep track of that, that would be really cool. Make a game out of it or something. Yeah.
Alternatively, if people want to count stuff I do, how many times do I sneer like Billy Idol? I kind of go like, Jay is on a mission. He's really doing this thing. Do you see that guy there? That guy at the beginning? Well, he's my best friend, and he likes Nintendo tapes.
If I remember correctly, you shot that in your house with Jordan, right?
In Vegas. I'm from London, and I'm here now, but originally from Canada. Then I moved to Vegas, and now I'm back here.
But the whole thing with that, why that scene is so amazing, and I made fun of Rob. I'm like, why are you doing that? He told me the truth. He's like, the chunk of dialogue I had to memorize in like basically one take was ginormous. He's like, I should have thought, should have cut that up a little bit more. But so when he's doing that, that's actually his brain hurting trying to remember what to say next, and yeah.
My face was contorting beyond control just to get to the end of the memorized line. And I'm not an actor by any means. I do much better when it's just voiceover and I can read and try to have a performance, which is why with Action Figure Adventure, I get my wife Tanya to do the voiceover, which is why I had Glenn do a lot of the voiceover in Video Game Box Art, because I just don't want this sound coming out on the tape as I look like a Nintendo Quest. Nah! So that's that. And with that, I think we will end this little preamble, this pre-show, if you will, for tomorrow night's event. If you're Facebook friends with me, you'll see it probably pop up. There is an event RSVP link. It's on Jay's page as well. It's also on my public business page, Rob McCallum, writer-director. It's facebook.com/Rob McZob. And on YouTube as well, my YouTube channel. It's out there. You'll find it for part 1 of Nintendo Quest, the live stream, live commentary, secrets revealed, and special guests. See you tomorrow, guys.